Friends, we are now on to the part 2 of understanding CBS environment interfaces and auditing. Let's go into the details now. Okay, friends. So this is what a Finacle screen is. This image is available on internet, and it's a beautifully designed image that gives us where the main menu, sub menu, and the options and other aspect is there. Let's understand with this screen. Now, this is the main menu where it houses certain sub menus also and the direct menu commands. So we have a main menu, we have a sub menu, and we have a menu option. It's like a tree, right? So there can be plenty of options to access a menu. We can directly type menu code here if we are aware of, or we can scan it through this one, or what we can do is we can drag this command into this one and it becomes a favorites, right? So there are plenty of options. We can have the list of favorites here. Then this part, light green part, is a message area where the Finacle is populating certain messages for the user. Below it is an action bar which contains the action buttons. Right, important button is background button, which gives a flexibility of creating another screen on the current screen so that our search queries or any of our transaction is not affected. Then this one, the green one, is the progress indicator. It has three colors: green, red, and orange. Green means the backend and the front end both are now available for any of the queries. Red means the system is working and you cannot do anything on the this front screen or the backend. Orange means the backend is free and the system is preparing the front screens. Right. So this is the progress indicator, and these are the user defined favorites. Whatever I explained here is there in this slide: menu block, menu option block, action bar, message bar, favorites, progress indicator. So you can refer it this one: menu option, action bar, message bar, favorites, and progress indicator. Okay, so now this we are on to the general key map. Now why I use word general here? Reason is this, that each bank or even the user can modify the key map. Now these is whatever I populated here is the general key map. So let's take an example for F3 and escape. Now certain banks use F7 also, F3, escape also for the quit or back. The important ones are F1, F2, F3, that is the quit or back, except background menu, F6, right, F9, the display signature. Now what happens that in case there are changes in the keys, but this will remain the same. Max to max, the function physical key will be different one, right? Let's take few more keys. Important one into this is the tab, that is the next valid field. Then comes control D, that is the page down on a particular list. When we are onto the list and we want to change the entire list, then we can use control D instead of using the arrow keys. Control E is very important one. Any transaction or any particular master you need to explore, then we need to press control E, right? Then a shift F1 is transmit. Again, it may vary from bank to bank, right? So now we are on to the command list category. Now these categories are mentioned based on general usage pattern and need not necessary that it matches with the Finacle's command category. But as an auditor, we can put it through into different categories. First one is account and customer master, transactions, clearing, office account maintenance, advances, DDPO inquiry, security stationery movement, checkbook issuance, stop payment instructions, compliances, trade finance, and the auditing part. Right. So we'll be discussing certain menu commands into this within this categories. So now we are first onto the accounts and customer master. First command, CUMM, customer master maintenance. We can use commands called CUMI also, right? On the, predominantly you will find that the last character M is generally used by the branch users who can initiate the transaction, whereas if it is replaced with I, now I am again saying it's a generally, right? So if we replace it with I, we can use it in an inquire mode. It is for customer master details, as we have discussed earlier also, right? There is a cost ID concept. Now if the customer ID is open for one customer ID, multiple customer IDs have been opened, then the issues are that the TDS, that is the computation of TDS on total interest paid to customer will have a problem. KYC will need KYC is required to be done for each set of customer IDs, and the NPA parameterization, that is IRX norm, income recognition and asset classification will also have an issue into it, right? So we can use master details through CUMM or CUMI. ACLI, excellent command, that is for the general, that is verification of ledgers, acronym for account ledger inquiry. There are various balances available into that command, that is opening balance, closing balance, available balance, effective balance, and shadow balance. Now opening and closing is a normal arithmetic balance. Available balance means balance which is available at that is current balance minus the lien amount, right? If any lien is marked, then it is reduced and an available balance is brought into. Effective balance means the available balance plus the amount in flexi fixed deposits, right? The linked deposits, right? And then comes the shadow balance, assuming that if all the clearing transactions are processed, then what will be the balance, right? So that is what the shadow balance is used. It is used to verify the list of transactions, that is both credit and debit, and we can use control E command also, which will take us to the transaction inquiry menu. That is when we can check the debit and credit tran of the part of the transaction. Also there are other fields also, like name and description of account available, GL subhead code, currency, account open date, account close date, account status, etc. is also available. There is a tip also, to go to the account master level configuration page, mention account number after opening ACLI menu. Now this is a beautiful part of Finacle, that the fields are also linked to the menu. So when you mention the account number into the account number field, and when you press Control E, it will take us to ACI command or ACM command. So we can go directly to ACI to check the account master details, or we can go through ACLI and mentioning the account number and Control E, right? So this is how we can make use of Finacle, wherein in different menus we can access through the field also. ACM, that's the account master. Again, ACM we can use ACI also, inquire option, because we will be given the inquiry option. It is for account level configuration. The configurations we have already discussed, that account specific details like cost ID, GL subhead, account type, interest rate, etc. are the parameters in ACM or ACI. Then comes the INTTM. Now this command is an excellent command. It gives us the history of interest table master, that is the changes in interest tables. Now why it is required or why it is important to verify this is that when we want to ensure that interest rate is properly charged, or if the corrections have been made into the interest rate, whether it is made from correct date with a correct percentage or not, right? So INTTM will give the history of changes in interest table, right? So we can go with the date when the change was made, and the rate that's the new rate that is there into the through the INTTM. Now again another option is available is INTTI, right? Okay, so now we are on to the ACINT. ACINT command is used to verify the running interest calculation. However, I'll prefer that a user should use AINTRPT command, because ACINT is generally used on a live system, where it gives you a demo interest run, that is a dummy interest run. However, it has a specific field that whether you want to like to post the transaction also. If it is marked at yes, then for the checking purpose also there may have an impact on the account, right? So I'll prefer that AINT RPT should be, it's a report type command, and we'll discuss it in the in few slides afterwards. ACS, account criterion selection, again a beautiful command and very good command, which will give us the criteria to search an account. Now, criteria can be name search, or it can be the debit balance in savings bank account or current account, right? So we can use the ACS command. Now, second command like this one is, if a person wants to check the customer or search the customer, then the command is called CUS. It works on the same fashion that the ACS is working, right? Okay, yeah, right. Transaction menu. So we will now check the menus which are applicable under the, or which are available under the transaction, TM and TI. Now this is the menu through which the transactions are recorded. When we press Control E in the ACLI option, we are taken to the TI and TM option only, right? It contains the part tran type, transaction type, sub tran type, narration, amount, and all the details. FTI, and again a good command that an auditor should work to its benefit, right? This is the best command. Reason is that it gives us a numerous parameters. We'll have a case study also at the last part of the session, right? And where we'll be verifying that what are the important aspect of FTI, right? It's a financial transaction inquiry based on various search criteria. Since we have a specific part therein, we'll not go into detail at this point of time. Only point that whenever we are using FTI, we need to ensure that we give as much parameters as available, so that system will also have lesser amount of time for the retrieval, and we'll have the perfect information in our hand. Right, now comes the clearing transactions. That is, options are OCTM, ICTM, and MCLZOH. First, we'll go through the OCTM, that is outward clearing transaction maintenance. The checks that is received by the bank for the clearing purpose will be lodged under outward clearing. But for the lodgement of the outward check, there should be a zone open for it. Now, zone, we have understood at the concept stage that what is zone. Same set of checks consolidated at a particular place. Same way is with the ICTM, that is inward clearing transaction maintenance. Checks under inward clearing transaction will be lodged under a specific zone. And again, the first step is that the clearing zone must have been opened. Now, to open or to maintain the zone, there is a command called MCLZOH, maintain clearing zone. Right, it is used for open, close, release. Now, release is an event on which the funds are passed on to the customer or finally debited to the customer's account, right? Okay. Then comes the office account maintenance. Now, in particularly in TCS one, there is a limitation that office account or the BGL account, that the branch general ledgers, could not be printed by the users. Right. For that purpose, user need to put a request to central data center for the generation of specific report for office account maintenance. However, in Finacle, we can use ACL POA command for printing of office account ledger, and we can verify it on the printing or through the soft mode also, right? However, for the other than office account, the commands are PSP and ACL PCA. That will come into later part, right? Office account maintenance, there is an important command. We have also discussed that is an IoT, inquire on transactions, right? Important at concept stage, we understood the pointing type, reversal type, that is fully reversed, partly reversed, or not reversed, right? Reversal method, whether we are reversing directly office account to office account, or we are reversing to the office account to the operative account, right? It is used to inquire on office account transactions. Issues are important ones are the reversal discipline, right? That timely reversal should be there, proper reversal should be there, meaning thereby that if a transaction of some other that is originating tran is reversed against some other reversal transaction, then in that scenario the entire reconciliation system will go haywire. As we have discussed, it's a fraud with fraud risk. Reason is that the temporary account will become the permanent and nobody will look into it, and in that scenario person may siphon off money, that is the official may enter into that kind of thing, right? Then comes the advances. Let's go one by one. SRM, security register maintenance. Now, security register maintenance is the replica of a physical or the manual register maintained by the bank. It's a big register covering the entire table space, wherein all the details like details of factory, building, other immovable properties, movable property, right? All the details have been mentioned for the cases wherein the loans have been granted. Now, important aspect under the securities are the valuations, the insurance renewal part. Now, through the manual mode, it is nearly impossible to track these kind of cases. Hence, the person, the bank can use security register maintenance for that feature. Even the security register maintenance can be used to give drawing power or the facility to multiple accounts also. So that is also possible through security register maintenance, whereas there is a common security and the facility should be to be extended to multiple accounts. That is also possible through security register maintenance. The command is SRM. Right. Issues are that it is generally observed that bank officials do not update stock and data statement receipt details in SRM or any other options. Moreover, insurance dates are not properly filled up. If that is the case, then we will not be in a position to get the proper information. As an auditor, we should point out such anomalies and we should report it in our audit reports. ALM, account lien maintenance. For any credit facility against deposits or the asset of a customer within that bank, right? Lien is marked. Right now, lien event will prevent anyone from the bank system to get the money from the system, because system will affix a lock into it. Only when the lien is lifted, the system will allow user to debit that account and can take the money out of it. So for the cases of FD, that is OD against FD or loan against FD, we need to ensure that lien is marked on FD account in system. Physical will anyway will check, but important part is marking of lien in system is very important one, right? ACTODM, that is account TOD maintenance. Now, as we have discussed that the limit can be set up through LNDI, SRM also in a one of small limit setup. The another type of setup of limit is account TOD maintenance, that is the temporary overdrawal maintenance. Now, that is not for a permanent limit, it is for a temporary purpose only, right? ACTODM has two parts: ad hoc limits and running limits, right? Ad hoc limit is sanctioned for, let's say, a day. Then after the completion of day, the limit will be set as 0, right? Whereas in running limit, it will go to, let's say, if for the 7 days, then 1 to 7 days, let's say 100 lakhs is the limit. Then for 7 days, the limit will be 100 lakhs. Post to which it will be marked as nil. And if there are any balances in debit, then the system will mark it as irregular, right? By working with this system will also collect the interest for the temporary overdrawal. Now, if we need to print this number of TODs during the month, we can use a command called TODRP, right? Through this command, we can get how many TODs have been given during the month or a period, that is a year or a quarter. PSP, that is past ship print. Printing of ledger accounts, that is other than the office account. This is one of the command. Second command is ACLPCA. LAGI and LAOPI. Two commands are there for specifically to search the loans or the overdrafts, right? So LAGI is used to inquire on loan details. Again, it is on a this parameter base. That is, we'll have the criteria. Based on the criteria, we can search a type of account, set of accounts, or list of accounts. Important command for us is LAOPI. It gives us a loan overdue position inquiry. Now, overdue position is for both interest as well as principal. It is used to inquire on overdue or overflow position. Now, what is overflow position? Where system has demanded 100 rupees, the borrower has paid, let's say, 150 rupees. In excess of what system demanded, right? In that scenario, it will be shown as 50 rupees as overflow position, right? Now, this is very important command, because based on this, we can verify that whether the system is perfectly working with respect to the auto marking of non-performing asset. So this is very important command. We should make use of this. LTL, as we have discussed in the concept stage, the limit and the limit node. Limit tree lookup will give us the limit based on nodes, separate nodes, and each node level the limits will be there, right? And we can verify each limit at that point of time. Only thing is that it will be an as on date information. As on date information. We cannot have an history of limit tree, right? Because that is not possible. It will give only as at that point of time information. LNDI is the command if we want to specifically check the node and not to the all the limits, right? If we want to check only the specific node, we can use the limit node inquiry, and we can specifically zero in on the limit node to verify the usage of the limit. ACLHM, the way in which we have verified the INTTM, right? It gives us account limit history maintenance. It gives us an history of changes in sanction limit and drawing power, right? So if there are any changes in the sanction limit, then we can find entries of it. The last entry will be the one that is the current entry, and the limit that is existing limit. Same way we can verify the drawing power limits also, right? It is used to verify the history of drawing power and sanction limit. It gives period wise information of DP and SL. AINTRPT, the report that we discussed earlier. It's a beautiful report. It can be used for both deposit and advances account. It gives details of interest for an account. Now it can be the debit interest, it can be credit interest, it can be penal interest also. So it can be used for any type of account, and it will give us a detailed information how the interest of debited or credited has been computed, right? DDSM, that is DD status maintenance. If you want to verify that what is the status of a particular DD, then we can use the DDSM. It will give us, irrespective of the DD status, it will give the information. However, if you want to have verification of specific DD, that is whether DD is paid or not, we can check it through DDIP, that is inquire on specific DD paid. Right, it is used to verify payment status of a specific DD issued, and it should be checked for the cases wherein request for reissue of DD or PO are received due to loss of original DD and PO. Then comes the security stationery movement and the maintenance. I have discussed it earlier also when we were discussing on the inventory locations. Right, the command is ISRA. It's a report type command, so it will ask you for the location as well as sublocation, right? So if we have two things, then we can verify the inventories outstanding at the specific locations. Okay, if we want to verify from movement from one location to another location, then we can use command called IMI, inventory movement inquiry. We need to give a location from one this to this, right? So again it will ask you for the location and sublocation, and here also location and sublocation. Checkbooks and stop payment instruction. First we'll understand with the ICHB, that is checkbook. Issue of checkbook. Issue of checkbook is done through ICHB. The important part we need to understand here is that checkbook, all the checkbook issued to all the customers are recorded into the Finacle system, and it has a tracking of it has a tracking of the check numbers that have been assigned to a particular customer. So when a check is presented, let's say 23000, this checkbook is issued 2230005, let's say, right? Then if a check is presented between any of the series, then the system will knock off that check, right, and will mark it as passed, or if it is not presented, then it will be marked as unused. Now it is possible only when the ICHB is done for the checkbook issuance. If it is not done and if a check is received, then the system will not allow user to enter the check number. In that scenario, user need to go either through without check number debit, or need to update the checkbook first, and then it can go further. CHBM will give the status of check. As I discussed earlier, if a check is presented and passed, it will go under the pass status. Then the same way, if it is not presented, unused, stop, caution, destroyed, return, and pay. These are all the positions of a particular check under a checkbook series that have been issued to a account. right? SPP, stop payment of check. Stop payment or the revocation of stop payment is done through SPP, right? And if you want to verify a report that is during the month or a period or a quarter or whatever is the period, we can use the SPRG command to verify that how many stop payment transactions have been processed by the branch. So we need to give the sole ID there, and we can use we can check the list of stop payment instructions. Compliances, this is what the Finacle gives: TDS IP command, that is TDS inquiry and print. There are multiple options available, and within which wherein we can check the specific details about the TDS, that is tax deducted on at source on deposit interest payments, and we can use it for the printing also. Then comes the AFSM, that is for the freeze status maintenance. AFSM is used to mark also and to lift the freeze, that is marked at account level. It can be debit freeze, it can be credit or total. We have discussed that in the concept stage. Trade finance. Trade finance will have multiple options. Let's understand one by one. First part we'll understand with the INBOEN, that is for the bill of entries. Now, bill of entries will be received by the branches wherein the bill import bill reference number will be recorded under INBOEN to mark that the bill of entry has been received by the branch, because the cases wherein the bill of entries have not been received will be reported by bank to the Reserve Bank of India under the BEF form. So the updation will be there in the INBOEM command. Then comes the BM and the BI, that is for inland bills. Now bills includes the checks on collections, the bills on collections, or the bills under LC, or the bill discounted, the inland trade part, right? So that will be accessed through BM and BI. Now for BM it is for a specific bill, right? Whereas the BI is a search command. So we can use BI to check that how many transactions are there on a particular criteria base. We can check that how many transactions are there of a particular type. We'll have a case study on BI at the later part. FBM, that is foreign bill maintenance, equivalent to the BM, but it is for the foreign bill maintenance, right? The menu is used for maintenance of foreign bills, that is foreign currency checks, traveler check, outward, inward remittances, and to mark realization and delinking against the said bills. Same way we'll have the FBI, that is foreign bill inquiry. It's same of FTI because there are criteria into it, right? There are multiple criteria, and here the register type and subtype concept will be used. Based on that, we can generate numerous reports that how many transactions are there or on a particular period. Maybe it's for a period of acceptance or of a due date, of a closure, right? Or of any status. FDP. If any of the reports that is generated, any of the information generated through FBI to be printed, then we should use the command called FDP and not the FBI. It will give a printout, or it will enable the system to get a print of the result obtained through FBI option. Right now, printing will be for each event. We need to understand the event. L is generally denoted for lodgement, R for realization, part realization is denoted by P, closure is Z, and delinking or the devolvement is with K. Now comes the balancing side. There are few reports where the bills which have been received by the branch have to be balanced on a periodical basis, so that it needs to be ensured that all the documents that have been received by the branch are intact, and it has not been that is nothing has been part away with any of the customer, or it are not those are not missing. So for that purpose, for inland bill purchase, the command is BRBPR, that is balancing of bill purchase. When we generate a report, it will give an as on date information that how many transactions are or how many bills are outstanding into the system. Same way we have a BRCR, that is balancing of bills on collection bills, again on an inland side, that is BRCR command is there. Same way we have a command called FBBR for foreign bill inquiry, that is balancing of reports for foreign bills. In that scenario, all the foreign bills outstanding, again it goes with the register type and subtype we have discussed earlier, right? And we can generate the report for the same. We are now on to the letter of credits and the guarantees. So letter of credit can be accessed through DCQRY, that is documentary credit query. The menu is used to verify the documentary credit details and list as per the parameters. Bank guarantees, that is accessed through GI, driven by the register type. The list of register type for each category should be obtained from branch. Generally, it is like the financial guarantee, performance guarantee, bid bond, deferred payment, advance payment. By selecting that, we can have multiple guarantees opened, getting expired, or invoked guarantee list also from GI option, right? Okay, then comes the remittances, inward remittances and outward remittances other than import and export transactions, right? So for that purpose, IRM command is there and ORM command is there. That is acronym for inward remittance maintenance and outward remittance maintenance. The last command in Finacle that we'll be discussing now is AFI, that is audit file inquiry. The menu contains audit trail of non-financial transactions like change in account master, change in account status, visually dormant to active. We can check it through account specific also, or for a particular date we can also check what are the transactions of non-financial nature through AFI. Now for the financial nature we have FTI, and for the non-financial nature we need to use this AFI command, right? And this AFI command will give us updates about, let's say, changes in account status and so on. Friends, we are now on to TCS Bank's overview. We'll have a screenshot with the multiple lingual support that we have discussed earlier also. Now it has a language of Hindi, as you can all see. Right now, for that, this TCS Bank is having a menu structure housed here, like Finacle only. It has a menu command, menu code, sub menu, and the menu command. Right. We can also use the codes assigned, that is the numeric codes assigned for each menu command here, right? And we'll have menu at this place. This gives information, basic information about the teller or the login ID, date, and the other details, right? So this is what an TCS Bank's overview is. Now the thing is that for each command there are numerical code associated with it, and it is nearly not possible for anyone to remember that codes. So what we'll do is we'll go with the flow. That is, go to this. That is first the customer master, and go to the search by CIF number, like that way. So let's go into that. Before that, let's understand which are the type of menu commands that we'll be discussing. We'll be discussing customer master detail, deposit CCOD setup, loan module, cash, valuable paper inventory system, general ledger inquiry, user maintenance and administration, and miscellaneous commands. So let's go one by one. That is customer master detail. To verify all account of one customer, we need to first go to the customer master maintenance. So we are going with this way, that first stage we'll go to customer management, then we'll go to the inquiries, and then we'll go with the search by CIF number. Now CIF number is nothing but a cursed ID that we were discussing into Finacle time, right? So to verify all accounts, we can go through the CIF, and then there will be a host of numbers. Again, the same case, if we have few information about a particular customer and we want to search it through that, then we can go through the inquiry, search by ID numbers. Same way, search by name, right? And ownership also, that is associated accounts or owned accounts, that is linked accounts or owned accounts. So these are all important. Now I am discussing only important commands that are useful for auditing purpose, that is available under the customer management. So now let's go into the deposit CCOD setup. For that, before going into that, I need to explain that there are three setups into TCS Bank as compared to only a single setup in Finacle. For deposit CCOD accounts, that is savings bank, current accounts, EC accounts, OD accounts, there is one setup. For DLTL, that is the demand loan and the term loan, there is another setup. And for the BGL account, there is a third setup. So that is the branch general ledger setup. So within that deposit CCOD account transaction master, we can verify the masters through this one. go to deposit CCOD accounts and services. Inquiries, deposit CCOD account to verify the account master details. To verify the checkbook inquiry, again we can go with, this is the first stage, second, third, and fourth. Now this is how the flow goes into. So when we go into deep into it, we can find out with this way. For the statement printing, we can go to the first stage, this, second stage inquiry, and third stage is the statement printing. Now again, two important concepts in TCS Bank, that is the short inquiry and long inquiry. Short inquiry gives basic information about a particular transaction if we are going through the statement, or if we are going for the master, it will give us the basic masters about a particular account or the transaction. Whereas the long inquiry will give additional details also on an inquiry screen. There are few more commands than the inquiry on transaction. Now for transaction, there are various types available. Transaction type 99, 98, 25, 33, right? So 99 includes all financial transaction, 98 whereas includes only cash transaction on a particular account, 25 includes the repayment details, whereas 33 includes only the message detail. Same, likewise, we have other options available. Now we are onto the loan modules, that is DLTL, account and services. For loan tracking or the change of interest rate or the verification of masters, we can go to the DLTL services and loan operation. Loan closure is from here. Repayment schedule can be generated through DLTL, loan processing, generate repayment schedule. Action is E, that is repayment. Balance breakup inquiry can be extracted through the short inquiry option. Then to find out the collateral number. Now here we need to understand why the collateral number is there. Now this setup says that way that if a account is to be assigned with an security amount, then the collateral ID must be created first. So once the entry for that security is created, then a number, that is the ID, is created, and that ID needs to be punched in into the loan to assign a security flag over into that account. Now we are on the cash side, that is various reports are available. First one of which is, go to the reports, cash related reports, view cash summary, click on fetch. It will give us the drawer wise position of cash officer, that what should be the amount should be there at the cash officer's drawer. There are other reports available, like 5 type of reports. Branch reports, cash officer's jotting book report, 2 type of jotting book, 1 wall transaction, 1 hand balance, and 1 check total reports, right? So it is always advisable whenever we are verifying any transaction of a cash, or we are verifying physical cash, then we should generate all these reports and ensure that it matches with all the balances. Then comes the printing of reports of cashier or the teller cash reports, right? It can be done through reports, printing of reports, cashier, teller, cash reports. Now comes the VPIS. Now we can equate this with ISRA command in Finacle, that is valuable paper inventory system. VPIS, we have the inventory maintenance here. It is used to release the security form. See, we can see that by and large all the systems are going in the same same way. Reason is that the concepts are common. Only the execution side or the application side or the front end is different, right? So again, to check the inventory status like we do in ISRA, we can go to the VPIS, that is valuable paper inventory system. Inquiry of VPI, general inquiry, right? Likewise, we have the other options available. A general ledger inquiry, that is the BGL. At the branch side, it will be BGL, that is the branch accounting general ledger. We can inquire on the BGL account by going to the branch accounting BGL inquiry account. Then if you want to search an account number of BGL, because generally the BGL numbers are in numeric, so it becomes extremely difficult to remember all the numbers. So we can search it with the text, that is, let's say rent or some other text. If we want to verify the rent expenditure, then we can go to the branch accounting BGL inquiry account number search. Now branch accounting general transaction verification is done through this. As I have said earlier also, printing is not possible at the branch user level. For that purpose, specific request is required to be given to data center executive if a printing is required for the BGL transaction. We are now on the user maintenance and administration. User administration will give the users logged in into the branch ID that can be accessed through the user system administration inquiry, user inquiry. To change the status of user, that is, if a person is going on a short leave or going on a transfer of the deputation. To prevent misuse, that ID can be marked as disabled for certain period, so that no one else, let's assume that someone is having the password, should not be in a position to use that ID. Right, now we are on the miscellaneous side, that is the collection and check purchase inquiries, and inquiry for the check purchase and collection transactions. So in earlier case, there were it was BI and the FBI module. Image maintenance, that is to access signature and the board resolution. We can use the image maintenance and access images. Journal inquiry and the branch inquiry, it helps the user to find out branch details by using various filters. So with this, we have completed the TCS banks menu codes. Friends, we have completed the concepts, menu command, shortcut keys, and now we are on to the generation of reports from Finacle. However, before going through the generation of report, we need to understand what are the menu structures and what are the report types. Now we will go into detail about the menu structures and report types in our next few slides. Menu structures. Menu in any CBS software can be categorized in following types: transaction menu, inquiry menu, transaction menu. Transaction menu will facilitate user to carry out transaction that is financial as well as non-financial. Whereas inquiry menu is will provide access to the information for the transaction that have already been recorded. Right. The other menus are criterion sort or the inquiry menu. Such menu provide information based on various criteria. So we need to apply a few criteria. So in a position to verify the filtered result. Right. To effectively use this type of menu, the user should have knowledge of various parameter fields and permitted input values. It should be re-verified. Again, it's very important one that it needs to be re-verified before execution. Otherwise, we may be relying on incorrect information. Output can be printed, it can be extracted, or it can be verified on screen. Then there is a menu type called a report menu. Apart from the transaction menu, we'll have the report menu, within which we'll have an on-screen view, which provides information on screen. It does not require user to verify only printed or exported output. It can be on the screen itself. It is at the option of the user to select the type of report, that is on-screen view, print view, or export as a file view. It is suitable for small reports, that is, if the report is going into 1 to 5 pages, then we can check it through the on-screen view. Rest of the reports, we can either have it through the print view or through the export as a file. However, export as a file may not be available in all the CBS software because of the to prevent the data theft. Report menu, we have the print view. Reports can be printed from CBS software. However, it may require certain sufficient work class. It may be possible that the auditor's login that we have been assigned to may not have the printing privileges. In that scenario, we need to either get our work class increased, or we need to ask the user who is having sufficient work class to get the reports printed. Report menu. The last one, that is the export as a file. Certain CBS software allow extracting reports information as .txt, .prn, or .det files. Such files can be opened in MS Excel or any spreadsheet program for number crunching activity. However, certain CBS software do not allow extracting any information from a report print menu to block leakage of confidential data. In certain banks, copy-paste commands have also been disabled while CBS software is working to block user to collect screenshots. In such case, in Finacle, text dump command can be used. We'll understand the same command after a few slides. Report types. So we have completed the menu types. Now we are onto the report type. Now report type, first type is the as on date report. As the name suggests, it will give us the information of an as on date position. It won't give us any information on the prior, that is the history information. Such report provide information as on date of generation of report. Hence, position for any past date cannot be asserted. For the said report purpose, report must have been generated on the said date if we wanted to have a history of it. Examples are ISRA, that is inventory status report, BR, BPR, BRCR, and FBBR, the one that we have discussed earlier. Second one is the period report. Such report provide information for particular period. Transactions event between the referred period will be populated and will be included in the said report. Such reports can be generated for the past period also. Examples are FTR. Now FTR is a command that FTI we have understood. For the printing of FTI command, we will be using the FTR command. Other one is the FBP and the BP command. Prefix parameters reports. Reports are of the type wherein the criteria parameters for generation of report in fixed Finacle. That is, the parameters will be fixed in the Finacle. And the user only need to provide basic information about customer, account number, etc. for generation of the said report. User is not required to mention or update any of the parameter for generation of report. Now these type of reports are more user friendly. For example, TDS IP or ACINT or AINT RPT also. User defined criterion based reports, where user will be giving the criteria to generate reports based on the filtered to generate the filtered output. For generation of information through these type of report, the user need to enter parameter value along with basic details about customer, type of transaction. For using such report, user must have knowledge of each parameters and its use in conjunction with the other parameters, right? So we need to understand when we are putting up any of the criteria, and we need to understand that how the criteria will have an impact on the data that will be generating. Examples are FTR, FBP and BP, where we will be giving the criteria to generate the information. Then comes the backend MIS report, the most easiest report, because those reports are the push based reports where the user need not have to do anything, that the report will be pushed by the system and will be stored in the network folder. Secondly, there can be live MIS system also through which the reports can be generated. The reports are generally generated through structured query language, that is the SQL from database. Every bank has designed certain set of report formats, and based on which various reports are generated and shared with branches on daily, monthly, quarterly and yearly basis. Such report facilitate branch management for better control over branch functioning, and we can use it for our audit purpose. Certain reports are generated which help auditor to carry out the audit more effectively in short span of time. So gone are the days that we will be verifying all the transactions through the voucher mode or some transaction report. Instead, we will be using some exceptional reports which will have only those transactions where there is a possibility of certain error. For example, advances reports will be there, that will be generated on daily basis. TDS report will be generated at the end of the month. Limit change report can be on a daily or on a monthly basis. Friends, we have completed up to generation of report from Finacle. Now let's understand the extraction of information from Finacle, where we'll have the case studies also. Data extraction technique in Finacle. First, we'll go through the basic mechanism through which we can generate the information. First thing first, we need to understand the print report. That is the PR command, or that's the PR menu. Any report that we need to generate, or we need to print it, or we need to extract it, that will be through PR command or through the print queue inquiry in the background menu. There is a steps are there, right? Options available are print to printer, on-screen view, or export as a file. What is the common process? Common process is like this way. For printing or export or on-screen view from report menu, the user need to press transmit key after generation of search parameter and execution of report. On pressing the transmit key, the system will ask for printing configuration, visually background printing or foreground printing. User need to select the respective printing mode, that is B or F. In printing require field, no should be updated. The reason particularly to update no is that if the user is pressing it as yes, the system will be not be functioning till the time the printing is completed. Meaning thereby we will be keeping the system busy till the time printer completes its job. So it's better to complete it as no, and afterwards we can take a print of that report. The action will generate the report in the background menu, or it can be accessed through the PR menu. From PR menu, the report can be printed, exported or viewed. Generally, read-only login in Finacle do not allow user to generate, print any report. For the said purpose, execution of such option should be carried out by the person having sufficient work class, that is authorization. However, there are few systems wherein there is a separate set of server, that is MIS server or the disaster recovery server, that is the DR side, through which the login is provided to the auditor to generate the reports. Now, this is a common process. Once this process is completed, we can access that report through PR or the print to inquiry in background menu. Now, another option that we have discussed earlier also, that there are certain restrictions in extraction of information. The last resort available is the text dump. Now, text dump is available under the action bar in Finacle. Now, text dump button will extract all the information available on the screen in a single column format. So the person need to copy entire information into Excel or Word, or that is the spreadsheet software or the document software or the notepad, and then reformatting is required. It's a very cumbersome process, but that's the because of the limitation we can use only this command. Case studies. Now let's go with 3-4 case studies at how we can generate the report, or which kind of reports or which kind of information we can access through Finacle. Right. We'll go into detail on the case study one by one. First, we'll take the case study of FTI and FTR. To verify any transaction based on various parameters, FTI menu is used. Now, which kind of reports or information we can generate? Credit to NRE accounts to check the compliances of FEMA guidelines. Credit to FCRA accounts to check the compliance with the FCRA regulations. Cash deposit above 50,000 to verify compliance with income tax guideline on PAN. Cash transactions about 10 lakh to verify compliance with the AML guidelines. That is whether the customer has declared the source of deposit or the purpose of withdrawal. Debit to escrow account to verify compliance with the escrow agreement. Purchase of gold through cash deposit, AML guidelines, plus whether customer is bifurcating amount into smaller transactions or not. That also we can check it out when we extract all the information for a particular gold account credit. Value dated transaction. Value dating will have an impact on the interest computation. Hence, we need to check whether are there any transactions of value dated nature processed in a particular period. Transaction in dormant and inactive account. There are numerous application of this particular this menu command. However, to extract the full potential of this command, we need to understand its usage. Now, this is a screen imprint of financial transaction inquiry, where we can check that all the fields are available. Set ID, account sole ID. Account ID means account number. Right. We have the currency, we have the transaction amount low, transaction amount high, start date, end date, transaction type, subtype, part run type. Right. Now, these are the ones that we discussed earlier also. To generate a particular set of report, we need to update all these fields. Now, if I put a particular, let's say we took an example earlier of 11 for Mumbai and 55 for Delhi. If I want to verify that how many transactions Delhi branch has carried out, I'll be putting under the set ID 55, and I'll be keeping account sole ID blank. Blank means it includes all information, meaning thereby all the branches, right? So any transaction carried out by 55 branch in any of the sole ID will be included. If I say that for a particular set of transaction, if I want, then I need to skip the account number. Account number is used only when we need to have a specific query on a particular account number, right? So we can have it CCR, that is cash receipt transaction. Let's say transaction amount low we are saying as 50,000, and high we are not giving anything. That is the blank. Blank means endless. That is infinite. So it will give us the report when we give a date of 1 to let's say 30th June. Then it gives us the information that transactions initiated by 55 branch in excess of 50,000 rupees between the period 1st June to 30th June with transaction type as C and subtype as CR. It will give us an information. If we go into this, if you want to print this information of the next screen, then we should go it through the FTR command. The same way we can have it for the 10 lakh transactions also, where we'll be keeping it a low amount as 10 lakh, but we'll not be giving anything into the subtype. We'll be only giving the transaction type, because we want both deposit and receipt transaction into it. To have the fullest, to get the fullest potential of this menu command, we should understand the importance of the codes and the importance of the fields. So in the next two slides, we'll understand the important field and parameter information. What is set ID? We have discussed again also earlier also. Let's discuss it again. Sole ID of the branch who have initiated the transaction. Account sole ID of branch where account is opened. Today's transaction only by default it is selected as yes, but if we are selecting for a period, it should be marked as no or blank. Transaction amount low, high, that we have checked. Then comes the start date filter and end date filter, transaction type, transaction subtype, part tran type, only validated transaction. If we want, then we should put it as yes. GL subhead code for escrow account verification or NRE account, FCRA account, right? GL subhead code will be required. Account status for dormant, inactive account verification, transaction into those accounts will be using the account status, right? Okay, so once that is done and the report is that the information is populated, if the output generated through FTR is required to be printed, then FTR command should be used. FTR command will provide the same parameter as that of FTI. Once all the parameters are filled in and the transaction has been populated, transmit key should be pressed, and then the common process that we have described earlier should be followed. Second case study, that is on FBI, FBP, BI, and BP. That is the bills report under the trade finance menu. So what we can do from these commands, let's have a case study of it. We can verify the import and export bill under LC, collection, advance import, direct import, export bill for export bill negotiated, purchase, discounted, export bill under LC, advance against exports, lodged, accepted or realized during the period. So there is a plenty of option available to generate the report through this menu. Moreover, we can generate the report on inward remittances, outward remittances, that is foreign currency transactions, TC transaction, purchase transaction, sales transaction, inward and outward remittance through DD, TT, travel card, refund of excess fund, etc. can be verified. Generation of information for bills realized during the period to verify form A2. Now A1 is redundant, so we'll not have the A1 forms. Recently, the government have amended and dropped the form. So form A2 we can generate the information also. Now this is a particular screen imprint of a bill inquiry command, right? Where we have the filters here: register type, register subtype, bill date filter is also available, lodge date is available, due date is available. Same way we have the status date filter also, and with that filters we can generate the data based on our requirements. So important part here is, this is important, are these two: register type and register subtype. Then we can have the lodgement period also, and based on amount also we can do. Now here are the important ones. If we are searching for any of the transactions which are closed immediately on lodgement, then we need to put it this as yes, or either we should keep it as blank. Otherwise the closed transaction will not feature into our information side. Same way we have discussed in FTI, we need to understand the important fields and parameter. So important fields are register type, subtype, lodgement date, if query is based on lodgement, date should be filled in, status date, if the query is based on date when the status of bill was changed. Now that is important. So if you want to verify anything on the realization status, then we'll be using the status at R and the filter as status filter. Then we have the due date filters available, closed and deleted flag that I have discussed. The third case study, that is on guarantee inquiry. To verify details of guarantees issued, GI command should be used. Guarantee registers and type of guarantee as discussed earlier should be used as a register type and subtype. Date of issuance filter is available, date of expiry is available. Though based on those feature and the register type and subtype, various information on the guarantee can be extracted. There are few more options related to guarantee, that is GILR, that is guarantee issued cum liability report, and GPI, that is guarantee parameters inquiry. We can make use of these commands also. The fourth case study, that is on DCQRY, that is documentary credit query. If we want to verify anything on the documentary credit side, now for the documentary credit there will be four types: inland, foreign, inward and outward. So we have the combination of inland, outward, inland, inward, foreign, inward, foreign, outward. So there can be only four type of LC transactions, right? The LC that have been issued by the branch is known as outward LC, And when the issue is received by the branch from other bank or other branch, those are inward LCs, right? Any LCs that we wanted to verify, we can verify through DCQRY. Again, there are the filters are inland foreign and inward outward. Other related menus are DCREG for the documentary credit register printing, then DCRPTS, that is DC reports and advices, DCSTMT, that is a statement on documentary credits. Now, it's a list of important menu commands in Finacle. It's only the list that we have discussed earlier also, and that is to make note of important command at one place. ACSP, that is account selection and printing. We discussed the ACS command. However, to print that information generated through system, we should use ACSP, AINTRPT, and so on and so forth. So these are certain report commands and transaction commands. Now, a point that I want to make here is report menu designed and configured for each bank houses hundreds of reports. Auditor need to inquire with the bank official for menu code. That is, for example, in BOB, the menu code may be Bob menu, through which you can access more reports, 100 to 150 reports generated by bank, in addition to Finacle reports. A note here, the menu code discussed here is only for guidance, and all the menu codes may not be applicable or available in all the Finacle or TCS bank software. Reason being, it can be customized also.